all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion, going all out, yeah, 'cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, on fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion, going all out, yeah, 'cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, on fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
all in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick,
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion, going all out, yeah, 'cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, on fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion, going all out, yeah, 'cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, on fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick,
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Levis towards the end zone. Got a man. Touchdown. Wow. And it's the 4th TD pass of the day in the debut of Will Levis.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Sick Podcast, Talking Titans. The three horsemen are back together again. Sweet it is. We're live once again, right before the draft. We're 2 days away, fellas. I can feel it in my bones. But let's get right into it. There was a press conference today in which our head coach and general manager spoke to the media and public. And based on the parts I've seen, I haven't seen all of it yet, but I've seen a good chunk of it. There's a lot of assumptions that can be made about where we are going to attack in the draft based on what these two gentlemen said. Some might think it's a smoke screen. Some might think it's their real logic. I don't know, but there are tons of assumptions to be made from that conference today. Jarett, why don't we start with you? What do you think the words of Brian and Rand meant as far as, what we might be looking to do with our 7th pick on Thursday night?
Well, I mean, I tweeted out before. I said things are getting spicy, and then the guy over to my right over here started saying that out. Oh my God, you can't believe everything what you say. Blah, blah, blah. Of course, I know that they're not going to play they're not going to give their play out if they're going to go tackle or wide receiver. But they did indicate that both positions that I've been talking about this whole offseason now is very deep, and I agree. I've been doing mock drafts this whole entire time. I've been doing player profiles. I mean, I'm not an expert or anything, but I know college football, and I've seen these guys, and I'm seeing these other guys, post stuff on Twitter of analytic stuff from offensive linemen. It is deep, and I looked at one guy in particular in I think his name is Pooney, an offensive tackle from Kansas. Great value in a late round. If we get something like that, that's what they were talking about in this press conference today. It's deep. It's deep at wide receiver. I can't even tell you how excited I am for Thursday night. After hearing that, they may be getting phone calls. They're going to let the board play. I want to see what Rand actually does Thursday. Does he let the board come to him, take the best available player? Does he go after that offensive lineman like we all wanted to? Or do we get the trade back? Because he did say something about, wanting that third round pick. So I'm excited as all hell. As this guy puts a light on right now.
Well, better late than never, I don't know. I think there's a lot of posturing, a lot of playing posturing from coaches, GMs this time of year, from the Senior Bowl to the Combine to interviews to top 30 visits to players that they should be interested in that they're not even bringing in for visits. It's a poker game at this point in time, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to come out and say, this class is really deep. We're going to pass on Joe Alt and take one of these receivers. This class is deep at the offensive line position, at the receiver position. And listen, the way mathematics work is that one of these three players will be available for us, assuming the top 4 quarterbacks go in front of us, either Rome Odunze, Malik Neighbors, or Joe Alt. It will be hard to get frustrated with taking one of those 3 players. With that being said, I'm of the mindset that you take the best offensive lineman prospect, should he be there. If he's not, feel free to trade back, maybe pick up a 3rd-round pick this year, next year, or something like that, and get another offensive lineman of the likes of Olaf Fashanu. Or if you really want, you could try to gamble in the 2nd round with an offensive lineman that you think could be our guy, a left tackle, and take a receiver, well, albeit whether it's Malik Neighbors, Odunze, Jared's boyfriend, Brock Bowers. We'll see. I just think the last 2 years have been so bad. If you really think about it from big picture, Chrissy, big picture, let's think. It's a $250 million job. Big picture, let's think. I think that if you look at the last 2 years, it's been a shit show at the left tackle position where we have been historically bad. Historically. We think we found a quarterback. I think we're all certain that he's probably the guy, 99% chance. I hope so. Now you got to protect him. I love that you can get him a weapon. I really do like that. That's fine and dandy. By week 6, he'll be hurt if you don't protect his blind side.
At best.
Last week I said week 8. I'm knocking it down 2 weeks to week 6. So that's how I feel about it. Will I be mad? No, it's cool. Malik Neighbors, Odunze, D-Hop will probably be gone next year. But for now, he's here, as is Calvin Ridley. What are you smirking at over there?
No, I'm
These
just reading-
comments.
Yeah, no. Sammy, put James back in the bag for a second because I'm gonna bring James back into it. Bring up Dad to the bone, our boy, please, for a second. Okay, let's talk about this before we get to James's comment. Worst case scenario, James. This is leading up to you. I'm not calling you out or anything, but it's leaving you out. It's leading up to this. So, worst case scenario here: if all or neighbors is gone at 7, what do you think they're going to do? Do you think that they're going to trade back? Do you think that Bowers, now that he's brought into this conversation, do you think he is the best available player for this team, or do we go after Odunze?
I would not be upset by either.
If you can't trade back, like he's saying.
First of all, let me say this before I answer that question. I don't think we're trading back. I do not think we're trading back. Although Rand can say whatever he wants about wanting a 3rd round pick, this, that, and the other thing, all these guys talk about all day is impact players, having guys in the locker room that are going to impact this team day one. And your best bet of pulling that off is taking your 7th overall pick, a 7th overall pick you hope that you never have again, and using it on the best player available. Now, with that being said, if I had to pick between Rome and Brock, I would pick Rome because I think he is a wide receiver that will instantly be a leader in that locker room year one, which is something I don't think we have currently at the moment. And if it was Brock, I've seen enough tape. He is really, he appears to be a generational talent at the tight end position. And I mean, where do you turn? You know, I mean, you literally have damn near elite players at every position now. Every single position on the offensive side of the football. So that would be a dream scenario for our year 2 QB, but I don't think we're moving back. I do not think we're moving back in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, neither do I. I think if that happens and Odunze is there, I think they make that pick. But you're also in a situation where let's say that one of those teams picking in the top 12, 13, like the Vegas Raiders, want to come up and maybe get a quarterback, or they're in love with one of those receivers or Brock Bowers, and you can get a haul, meaning an extra 2nd and 3rd at least, and move back 4 or 5 picks. That's a move I'm okay with. I still think that they'll stay at 7 and, like I said, end up with either Odunze, Neighbors, or Joe Alt. But listen, guys, you don't know what can happen. Everyone's saying J.J. McCarthy is going to get picked in the top 5, the top 6. Last year, the night before the draft, Will Levis was minus 130 or 150 to go 2nd overall to Houston, okay? He fell not only out of the top 10, the top 20, out of the 1st round, okay? Thank God.
Amen, that he did.
We ended up getting him. So just because there's all this, it's like I was saying, a lot of coaches playing possum, playing poker. They got everyone hyped on Willis, and he ended up falling in the 2nd round. There's all this hype about AJ McCarthy. Wait, I said Malik Willis?
Yeah,
my bad.
Bring back nightmares. I'm sorry.
No disrespect to Malik Willis. I'm
no,
sure
none. Good friend of mine. Good friend of the show.
Thrive in the Canadian League one day. But I just think that you don't know what can happen. You really don't. What if J.J. McCarthy is there at 7, and there's a team that wants to trade up and give us a haul?
Some people say we should take him.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm saying there's actually people that with straight faces that get paid to talk Titan football. We're not going to mention names. That actually said the Titans should look into a quarterback at 7.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
We're not. Obviously, that's.
I just
take a discussion. I want to bring that up.
You don't know what can happen. I think it all really starts at 5 with the Chargers. I do. I think Minnesota seems to maybe be in on McCarthy or really want a quarterback. I think they could trade up from 11 to 5, give their 23rd pick to the Chargers. Chargers move back to 11, get their guy Latham. A lot of people are saying now they might stay put and take Joe Alt at 5. I highly doubt it. They have Slater at the left tackle position. They can get Latham at the right tackle position, have your 2 bookend tackles. I think really that's where it's going to start getting weird in the 5th overall pick, because for the sake of argument, the 3 quarterbacks, no matter which order they go in, will go top 3. And then you have to think Arizona, if they don't trade out of staying put and take a Marvin Harrison Jr., I think they need to take him just to put fans in the seats and have a big name, There's really nothing to get excited about if you're an Arizona Cardinals fan, whereas drafting Marvin Harrison Jr., having him there, having his father at the stadium would attract fans, especially because they lost a hockey team now too, so they really don't have much to get excited about sports-wise there.
They weren't excited even when they were still there.
Yeah, exactly. And the Suns seem like they're on their way out, on their way down. So I don't know. I think the top 4 picks will go quarterbacks, Marvin Harrison Jr., and then 5 is where it really starts getting interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's great, Jarett.
No, I'm just saying, no doubt. I mean, like everyone's saying, I'm the biggest Brock Bowers stan. I value his versatility. He's done it, and people have been saying the whole time that there has never been a All-Pro first round tight end, no Pro Bowl first round tight end in the recent decades. This guy is different. He's shown that he can line up a wide receiver. He's versatile. You can put him in motion, unlike these other tight ends now. Now, granted, if we don't go him, I'm starting to lean more and more and more towards the Joe Alt. But if Joe Alt is not there, I am not going.
That again.
You'll see it. I have the mock draft up. I'll pull it up in a little bit here. I have 4 mock drafts. I picked Joe Alt 3 times out of the 4, and once was Brock Bowers for a trade back. So yes, I value that. But now going into this, guys, we're just so henpecked. We're so henpecked on offense. Hey, we're gonna go offensive line in the first round. Great. Now, all right, we're good. Now we're gonna go to the second round at 38. We're gonna draft a wide receiver. Guys, that's almost 8 picks in a row that we went offense. We have to address the defense now on this because there's holes all over the place, like we said at last podcast as well. And Sal brought it up too. Linebacker is not a luxury pick, but a what'd you say it was? It's not a position of a need, like a prime position. For us right now, it kind of is. And if Peyton Wilson from NC State is sitting there at 38 and we can't move back, because that's where I think we move back in the second round. If we jump from like 38 to mid-40s and grab that, that like 58 pick or 52 pick and grab a third round pick, I think we're going to be set because this draft, like I said, is so deep that you can get a wide receiver in the third round and that we desperately need it.
Here's the thing, like, there's 2 ways. So there's 3 positions that I think they need to attack in the first 3 rounds. And if they're trading back to get more picks, obviously, they're going to have more picks to do this, but it goes in no particular order, honestly. But obviously where we're picking, it's going to be one of these 2 positions, likely if we're staying at 7. Wide receiver, offensive line, defensive tackle. Okay. I cannot stress this enough. We have 0 pressure up front besides one guy. And we've seen before when he has to do all the work by himself up front, he's not at his best. Okay. Let's just put it that way. He's still productive. He's still one of the best at what he does at his position. But if he has 0 help around him, he has trouble getting to the quarterback. Okay. So we need to address the fact that our defensive tackle room is really nothing to write home about. And that'll depend on where we go the first 2 picks. Like I said, if we trade back to get a third rounder, then you can dress one of those that we missed in that third round. Otherwise, one position is going to be left out. But I know linebacker is another group that is, kind of mid, unless you're just going to expect a really much, much better season out of Landry than last year. Because again, I know the stats were there, but it was all backloaded at the end of the season when nothing mattered realistically. But unless a huge, huge leap for Landry in this year, we don't got a lot to look forward to in the linebacker position. So I agree with you there, but I think interior is still a higher level of need right now after O-line receiver. But we'll see.
So since we're talking draft, let's say we throw up the mock draft, my final mock draft that we have for here. We can walk this through it. So yeah, there's everyone's favorite, the betting favorite for Vinny right there is Joe Alt. I'm going. I attacked edge. Braswell fell in the second round. I had the opportunity for a trade. I took it. I moved back a couple spots like we were just talking about, and I addressed the edge, and I addressed defensive line with Chris Jennings, who was a pretty good force for the Michigan defense. So that's what I liked, and I attacked basically the line.
What did you get? What did you get for that? Because you dropped like 30 spots.
I got additional third and just an additional third.
You got an additional third?
No, a second and a third, and a next year's third.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I don't know any of these guys outside of all.
I'm valuing here that we need the third round pick, because this is deep, whether it's D-line, whether it's any order, like you just said. If they value linebacker, versus us three or any other Titans podcast is out there and says yes, no to linebackers, whether they value it because they're the ones that are addressing the team, not just us, and we're just talking about it. I just see great value in basically all the first 5 picks. The other 182, 240, 242, you're going another defensive lineman, and then you have to throw the linebacker in there just for special teams. But when you get a Javon Baker at 106 inside the top 100 as a wide receiver like that caliber, who was a 5-star recruit and went to Central Florida, I think that's a home run too. So he was at Alabama, went there for more playing time and just lit it up there. So I think he could possibly be a steal for us too if we get him that deep in the draft.
As far as the later picks, much like Sal, I'm not the biggest college football enthusiast, so I know you are. But what I like about this one, Jarett, is obviously we're getting our boy, which I do think when it's all said and done, we're talking all these scenarios. I think it will be 4 quarterbacks, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and then we will get Joe Alt. I think that is what will most likely happen. That being said, we talked about trading back in the first round. I think if we're going to trade, I don't know if I said it on previous shows, I think it's more likely we do it in the second round, pick up an additional third. I think there's just too many blue chip prospects that are as close as can't miss in the first 10 picks of the draft. We have the 7th pick, so we will get one of those guys. I don't pick
He's frozen
by trading
back. That's that internet down there. So you lost me for a second.
Vinny, get your fucking shy running right, okay? Your Wi-Fi is all fucked up. Get your shy running right.
Yeah, my channel. I'm thinking about getting out of this area though, But no, I don't know where you guys lost me, but I just think it's more likely that we trade back in the second to pick up a third. Our boy Teron Davenport is a big fan of Darius Robinson out of Missouri, I believe. He's also a big fan of that guy Javon Baker you put in our mock as well, Jarett. So, but we'll see what happens. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The second and third round. I just hope that we get it right with the first round pick, because we have been the most tackle needy team the last couple of years, and I think that even if Alt is gone, you still got to figure out a way to maybe get like a Fashanu or something like that. It is that big of a need, in my opinion, considering you think you have your quarterback.
No, we know we do.
Yeah,
we do.
well,
protect them now.
There's no such thing as a sure thing.
There's not. But I think it's a sure thing that if we're gonna ever pull this shit off in our lifetime, it's gonna be with this guy.
I sure as hell hope so.
I really do. And I'm not just saying, I know everyone's going to say, oh, you said that about Marcus. You said that about Malik. You even said that about Tannehill one time. Yes, I did. But one thing you cannot disagree with at all, everyone watching, is that they don't have the passion for this game that this kid has. And that is what I think gives him the edge amongst all the other guys. I really do.
He did. Fuck me. I think if you look at what we did in the off season, with signing everybody basically but a left tackle and signing Calvin Ridley to a big contract, it really just makes sense that we would go left tackle here. It's the one position we failed to address in free agency. We went center in free agency. We went receiver in the free agency. We did things to help Will Levis. The final piece of that puzzle for now is a left tackle.
It is.
And like I said, the smartest thing to do is is to move back in that second round. And it may not have been as deep as I did. I went back 30-something, like 28 spots or so, give or take. But if we could find a partner to get that third pick, I would be ecstatic going into day 2 because, like I said, it is deep as hell, and it gives you that flexibility. If guys are falling on your board and you say, you know what, I can get this guy in the second at 45 and this guy that's like kind of even with him on our board, and we can grab him early in the third if that's where their pick is. It's a no-brainer, and I trust everybody in that front office that's going to make the right decisions for us Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But I am jacked up for this week, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it flew by. It really did. I remember us talking about it was a month ago, like snap a finger ago and 2 days away. But we'll see. Again, I'm sticking to my guns. I don't think we're trading back. I think the comments made by the management and coaching staff today were more or less a smoke signal to get people thinking, oh, wait, they might take receiver at 7. Maybe we don't have to trade up, things like that. Because it's very much a mind game. You have to, if you want to get a player at a certain position that other teams would love to have at their position and would consider moving up to get, you got to play good cop or not good cop bad, but you got to put on a facade to a certain extent if you want them to believe that they're going to still be there and you don't have to worry about trading up. And I think that's what they're doing here. I really do. I think this kid's protection is way too important. They've attacked everything else basically that we've needed outside of some interior defense help, but everything they attacked in free agency. And to be able to have a guy to protect your quarterback's blind side and literally go through their careers together, essentially offsetting by 1 year. It's just a no-brainer when there's guys that should be there at 7 that on day 1 of rookie minicamp will tremendously help your protection of your quarterback. So that's where I'm sticking with it. And if we got Rome at 7, I'm going to be hyped. If we get Neighbors at 7, I'm going to be hyped. Because again, like I said, if they do, this will be the best offensive weaponry this franchise has ever had in its history before it came to Tennessee. So obviously, I'm not going to be upset if that's the case. But at the end of the day, like Vinny said, you're not looking at a very long season from Levis if we have a question mark at left tackle. And that's just the bottom line. So,
and it's not like I think you could just plug and play and hope that you pick up a free agent or get a guy in the second round and just think it's going to work. I think your chances drop off significantly if you don't get a first-round talent at the left tackle position. So, we'll see.
I mean, hopefully all is there. I'm on. Like I said, I'm all aboard. I would not be mad for any one of the wide receivers plus Brock Bowers as my, 5 picks. Any one of those I would not be mad about at all. But there are rumors now that the Saints may try to jump us. Other teams may try to jump us. The Jets try to get in front of us for Joe Alt. I just don't see Ola and the right tackle, Latham. I don't want to draft, like Vinny's been saying, I don't want to draft Latham. Yes, he is an absolute machine, a monster, a huge body, but I don't want to have that right tackle by left tackle. I want a bona fide left tackle in Joe Alt to be the cornerstone next to Peter Skoronski for 8 to 10 years, like you guys been saying the whole time. So we're all on the Joe Alt train on Thursday night.
Yeah, I will say this. I've heard enough about Fashanu that I'd be fine with him because his best asset as a tackle is his pass blocking. Everyone says he leaves something to be desired about running blocking. I'll survive with that. If he is probably the best tackle at pass blocking in this draft, I'll be fine, quote unquote, settling for him. But obviously, Alt, it's just the size and everything. He doesn't seem like you can miss with Alt. So that's why that'd be my pick. But I don't know.
I mean, and also if you want to look at the big picture, you look at the way you build a team, right? From the inside out. You got your left guard last year. You get your left tackle this year. You got your quarterback. That is how you build a team.
Got your center.
Got your center.
You got your right guard too in Brunskill.
Right guard. And then we'll see what happens at the.
Don't shake your head with him. Sorry to cut you up, but don't shake your head with Brunskill. He had shit next to him to his left and shit next to him.
I know, but
he's
not. How old is he? Isn't he 31?
That's right. I'm 34.
I mean,
sit
that's
there, I
not
could
the
sit
future.
there. I could sit there and play X.
That's not the future at the right guard
But-
position. So
Yeah, but you know what? If he could plug and play for 2 years, and we grab one of these other interior guys later in the rounds,
yeah.
they
I just
said it's
don't. I
deep.
just don't want any settling. I don't want to settle
No,
for
and they're
any
not.
player up front protecting this guy. It needs to be solidified, damn near close to week 3, who the offensive line for this starting team is when healthy. Because we haven't had that. Even when players are healthy, it's a constant fucking carousel of who's up front and who's on left and who's on right. And it can't happen anymore.
And
No
look at the
team
success.
succeeds.
Yeah, look at the success we've had, right? And Brunskill's 30. Look at the success we had with Taylor Lewan, Ben Jones, Roger Saffold. That line was together in our core playoff runs where we were deep in the AFC Championship run, deep in the playoffs, number 1 seed. I know it fell and it was a stab in the heart, but that line was together for a while. And now we have to build this line and the cohesiveness going forward around Will Levis. So, Joel, baby. I'm on it, Vin. You finally got me there.
I'm a salesman by trade, but I just think it's never the most exciting pick. And again, I referred to it last week. I think it's a young thing, a young fan's ideology that it's a wrong pick. It's not a sexy pick. But think about it like this: John Harbaugh or Jim Harbaugh said it, the Chargers coach, whatever brother that is, Jim, I believe. What other position does all other positions depend on to be good? A good quarterback needs a good offensive line. A good running back needs a good offensive line. A good offensive line doesn't need a good running back. A good offensive line doesn't need a good quarterback. The offensive line is something that needs to be good because all other positions on the offensive side of the ball depend on them. They're the only position group where it depends on them. And even the defensive side of the ball depends on them because you have a good offensive line, your offense will stay on the field longer. It will give your defense a longer rest on the bench. The offensive line is that important. It's kind of like a little far-fetched what I said a little bit, but if you really think about it, what other position group needs to be good for all other positions to succeed on the offensive side?
Defensive tackle. Defensive tackle's another one.
Yeah, exactly. What I'm saying is even having a good offensive line helps out your defensive line because if you have a good offensive line, your offense
they're off the field.
Yeah, exactly. They're off the field. They're resting. Offensive line is the most important position group outside of having your franchise quarterback.
I really want to see.
All other positions depend on the offensive line, not the other way around.
And I want to see how they value this going forward now because Rand said this is a new era. This is a new regime for the Titans. He feels like this is his first draft now, and I want to see how they value it. Are they gonna?
That's right. Go ahead.
So, are they going to value the touchdowns like they've been saying in draft? They're going to say, screw it. You know what? We got, big coach over there, like they call him, and Bill Callahan, and we're going to develop this guy. We're going to get an offensive lineman, and we're just going to attack, and we're just going to throw the ball and get the wide receiver at 7. Or are they going to play smart, get the offensive lineman, and are they going to start building, like you're saying, defensive line in the second, trade back a little bit? Do they value somewhere and just keep going defense? That's what's going to be catchy to me now, how they build this team. Is it inside out or is it all over the place?
Well, like I said,
if you want to make the argument that, he came from the Bengals and look what they did with drafting Jamar Chase and how it worked out, sure, cool. Joe Burrow's missed. He's had 2 season-ending injuries in 4 years. So did it work? Kind of, sort of. You almost won a Super Bowl, but you also have gotten your franchise quarterback hurt 2 out of the 4 years he's been in the league. So you can argue every which way for a receiver. I just don't believe it is the prudent thing to do at 7.
All right. Well, I'm not giving up this point because I'm bringing it up. The fact that Rand Carthon said on the podium that he considers this his first draft, and there's going to be people out there that say, well, it's because there's a new head coach, so many new staff members. Yeah, that is true. But the fact that he said that out loud to me basically solidifies that he had a very unpleasant relationship with Mike Vrabel. And again, I'm sorry that I keep bringing this guy up, but there was just so much backlash about speaking about this guy that now there's so much evidence to back up that things were not as great as everyone thought they were. I'm going to use every opportunity to bring that up. So I just want to say, Rand, we hear you. We understand what you meant by that. We're also happy that we got our new guy in town as well. So let's move on to kind of an off topic, but something that's been talked about throughout Twitter and whatnot, through the NFL, whatever a case may be. Our division rivals have a new uniform, and I can't for the life of me understand what the concept was here. I don't want to get too over my head talking shit because I know they'll be out for us.
I can care less.
Go ahead, Jarett. Let him have it.
We can seriously have a Texans fan on here and state their point on why they're so obsessed with the Columbia Blue, why they want the Oilers even associated with them. I don't even know when they came into the league, early 2000s. You know who their throwback is? David Carr. That's their throwback. That's it. They have no other symbol. I don't know why they want to try to get with the star. They want to go with the Columbia Blue. They want to, get the blue and the red, like try to be like us. They have no history. Just because they were in Houston and we originated in Houston, the the Houston Oilers moved to Memphis, to Nashville. They were the Tennessee Oilers. Now they're the Tennessee Titans. It's the same franchise, same owner. It wasn't like the McNairs owned the Houston Oilers. It's not the case.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
These fans are crazy. They can try to come in the mentions for all I care. I can care less. The Columbia Blue they're owned by us. The Oilers owned by the Titans and the Adams family. So the McNairs and Houston, forget about it.
I think it looks like a AAA baseball team's logo. Like the H is, they're a AAA affiliate that you hear about only when that player gets called up to the minor leagues. Like the Houston Astronauts sent up Jarrett Foote to the Cardinals.
Listen, I'll probably do better than half of the Cardinals right now.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, the owner, it was funny hearing her talk with, I guess, her husband or Cohen or whatever, how, the Titan fans, they don't take a lot of pride in it. Meanwhile, if you went to the first game that we wore them, the entire fucking stadium was filled with people wearing the colors.
We begged for them for years.
Yeah, it's just obviously misinformation. Because that lady probably doesn't even watch the Texans fucking play. She just, hands the money over when it's needed. But regardless, they're ours. They're always going to be ours. And your fans, if you still have Oiler fans in Houston, well, then they should probably be Titan fans, unless they stuck around for how many years before they got the team back? 8 or 9 years? No. How long was it?
It was pretty soon after because we moved to Nashville in 99, I want to say. And then they came out, I think, in 01, something like that, maybe 03 or 04. Maybe Sammy cut that up for us.
Regardless, it's fucking stupid.
Their argument is grasping at straws at this point. I mean, like Jarett said, the family that owns the Titans own the Oilers. It is a completely separate franchise. The McNair family.
2002.
Yeah. So they were without a team for a few years. And, listen, I don't even waste my time arguing with Colts fans, with Texans fans. There's no point. Jags fans, they're the worst. Talk about being irrelevant forever. But any more questions?
Yeah, we got any questions? Guys, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them up. I'll translate for any robotic language of Vinny's speaking today. But would you go O-line back-to-back, either tackle guard or tackle? Absolutely not. I would not do that, team leader. Only reason being because there are still, even at this point in time, a lot of areas of need. And although offensive line, you can never, ever have too much depth in. Considering we picked up the guy from Cleveland that I don't know if we touched on. Maybe you guys did on the show. I wasn't on, but picked up a guy from Cleveland that obviously Mr. Callahan knows personally. That's why they went out and got him. Traded a pick for him. So that's going to add some more tackle depth as well. Getting two guys that high in the draft, I think, would be a little counterproductive for us, even with us being so desperate for tackle help. But Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, we got some capable guys. MPF. I mean, everyone's trying to piss all over him. I think he's going to be probably the starter over there, or the kid from Cleveland at the right hand side. So I mean, with Bill as at the helm and let him develop MPF. I mean, MPF is not that bad. I mean, he played 6 games. No, he was suspended for how many games last year? 6. Came in for 2 and then got hurt. So listen, I didn't hate him when he was the full-time starter 2 years ago. So. I mean, if we have MPF and then you get Joe Alt, there's so many more holes. Like you guys said, there's so many more holes than offensive line besides that glaring need at left tackle to fill, like defensive line, linebacker, safety, wide receiver, tight end. There's so many more holes that we need, in my opinion, to go tackle.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
Yeah. By the way, guys, let me just say this real quick. There's over 240 people watching us right now, whether that be on Twitter and YouTube, etc. I want to appreciate and thank all of you for joining in today to spend any time out of your day listening to us to talk Titan football. So while we have you here, if you'd be so kind, if you want to head over to our YouTube channel at any point in time, whether now, after the show, make sure to shoot us a follow, a subscription. The more following we have, the more we're able to continue to provide the best content we can for you guys each and every week. So we really appreciate that. But yeah, no, we'll see how things shape up. Again, I don't think tackle twice would be that great of an idea. Mind you, if we ever went receiver 1 and 2, as I don't know how I would feel about that, because I'd want to be really mad. I'd want to be really mad. And I should be really mad, but all the years
I would be mad.
Fucking deal with tackle, corner, that was shit. It would be kind of fucking cool, but I don't want it. Definitely don't want it. No way.
It would be cool, but like I said, we desperately need that tackle, whether it's first or second, and the wide receiver looks good, but I think they're going to address the defensive side of the ball in the second round.
Yeah, I'm on the other end. I really edge, unless it's
whether it be edge or like it, if like Sweat and they want him, they said they crossed a lot of guys off. That's not going to fit their city. Is it Sweat? I don't know.
That's another question, Jared. What do you think that was that they were talking about?
It could have been him. It could have been guys, later on in the rounds. I don't know, but it kind of smells that way. They brought him in for a visit, but I don't know. He's got too much talent. Don't know if that was him that we were talking about. But if a guy like Newton from Illinois is falling in the second round, I would jump all over that defensive lineman from Illinois, man. He is a game wrecker, and he would be great with Big Jeff. I value, like what Vinny's been saying, thinking about it smarter now, thinking about it for a while. You got to build and help Jeff. You have to help Will Levis. You have to help Peter Skoronski over there. And the smartest thing to do is shore up both sides of the line right away.
Absolutely. Or what about safety? Isn't there a safety in the second round?
Yeah, Tyler Nubin's out there. A lot of people have been projecting us over there. I mean,
who's our other safety aside from
Amani Hooker? They're trying to put Molden back there. But listen, guys, everyone's forgetting about this. Oh yeah, we need to have a glaring need at safety. Every safety possible imagine is still out there in free agency. So whatever we don't address there, we have $40 million left over to spend at the end of the draft to go address that.
Yeah, they got 1 foot in the grave. They got 1 fucking foot in the grave. All the safeties
listen,
that are left.
you would want Justin Simmons for 1 year for $15 million or 2 years or whatever. I would take him for a 1 year rental.
Yeah,
2 year rental.
Yeah. Well, then do it then. What are they freaking waiting for? It's going to be fucking
They got to see who's available. Maybe they do want Tyler Newman, and if Tyler Newman's not available, they're going to go address it at the end of the draft with a veteran safety.
Hopefully, it's not too late.
Yeah, I think they go defensive line though in the second round. Whether it's an interior guy, an edge rusher, we'll see. But the smart thing would be to get an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman. You're pretty set on receiver for this year, in my opinion. We can worry about what we do with D-Hop next year and the needs we have at that position next year. But for this year, I think we're good to go.
Yeah.
Jerry, you want to take this question on from Cyrus? I'm sure you've got a lot more in the tank as far as defensive players that are on your board that you wouldn't mind.
Is there any defensive
grabbing
players you guys really want in realistic draft?
I mean, obviously you've mentioned a bunch of guys already, but
no matter the round. I mean, like I said, Newton, if he falls, Sweat, any one of the like Byron Murphy, any one of the defensive tackles from Texas if they do fall, and the back end of the first round wide receivers start coming off the ball very fast. That means the D line and linebackers and cornerbacks are going to start falling into the early second round. So I mean, I mentioned Patrick Wilson, Peyton Wilson from NC State is another guy I would tackle. Me, like I said, defensive line, like the players like Tyler Newman at safety. Brownlee Jr., cornerback from Louisville, who we brought in for a visit. He is a tall, lanky coverage guy, in-your-face press man. I would like to see them. I mocked him in, I think, the last mock draft I brought him up. They had him in for a visit. A lot of depth. There's a lot of pieces deep. Cornerback, defensive line, wide receiver, and O-line. Those are the deepest positions, I think, in this draft class.
That's actually a great point as well. I didn't even realize that. We only wore the blue Oiler jerseys. That was the only ones we wore, right? Is the light blue ones.
Yeah.
So we never wore the white
ones.
Damn,
that would really dude, I want a white McNair jersey.
I have one.
I want. I know you do. But I need one personally for myself. Yeah. I love that jersey.
You know what? It's crazy about that too. That's getting not enough, but just a little small on me. So like last year, I loved.
Well, you like it like that though.
Yeah.
Not this. Listen, look at Vin just fucking grinning. Just go ahead. Make a comment. You've been waiting all day. Go ahead.
Nah, man, you like it a little snug. It's all right.
I like him a little snug.
I remember I was 180 pounds in 8th grade, so you know.
Oh my God! I bet you wish you were fucking 180 pounds right now.
I would need to do bad things to get to 180 pounds.
Well, guess you're fucking shy running right. You might be 180 pounds soon. But
clip your coupons. Be a happy old man.
I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy with the way I am right now. But I digress. What the fuck were we talking about, Jarett? I got sidetracked.
McNair jersey.
Yes. So it was getting a little snug on me. So I went online to try to find it. I can't find
it's impossible.
one.
It's impossible.
I can't find one. And this one is actually it's a retro. It has it on the tag. It says 1998 McNair. It's like a Canton jersey. I'm so happy that I have it. I got it from fucking China whenever I got it 10 years ago. But
it came from China.
It did.
Try going to Mitchell and Ness. Mitchell and Ness has some stuff too.
Their stuff is wildly expensive. I don't know why, but Anyway, guys, I think we're gonna pack it up for the day. Another great show. Obviously, we're gonna be on very shortly once everything takes place. I mean, while we're live, I think we're gonna figure something out. Try to go live sometime around the draft. We'll see what happens. Jarett, I'm down to watch it with you if you're going to be around.
Yeah, I'm around. We'll talk about it after the show.
We'll figure it out. I know, Vin's going to be with his buddy. So, we can figure something out. But obviously, we're going to be on. We're going to be giving you guys some content after what happens on Thursday night, no matter how late it is, because we're all going to be wired probably no matter what. So definitely stay tuned for that. As I mentioned earlier, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel, which we're continuing to try to grow each and every week. We've been busting our ass trying to get great, guests for you guys and whatnot. So all the support you guys have been giving us has been great. And that's about it. Anything you guys want to add, fellas, before we close out for the night, besides Joe Alt all the way?
Yeah, stick to what you know. Leave your opinions wherever the fuck.
Yeah. Joe Alt at 7. And if it's not, then give me Brock, give me Malik, give me Marvin, give me Rome, give me any of them. Give me any of them. So listen, if it's Rome, we're gonna have some when it. No, we can't have when in Rome shirts. That's not gonna work. Anyway, we'll figure it out. I think when in Rome is not gonna be the right angle to attack for merchandise.
It wouldn't be badass if our stadium was still called the Coliseum and we got Rome. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty dope. Didn't we already find out that the new stadium is still going to be Nissan? Or is that did they say that yet?
I think so. Yeah, Nissan is.
There's nothing we can do.
They signed a massive deal with them.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, anyway, guys, appreciate everybody for joining in. Hope everyone has a wonderful remaining rest of their night, and we will catch you all on draft night. So, as always, tighten up, and Sammy, send us on out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.